What if the ruins beneath our feet are not just remnants of forgotten civilizations, but prisons for beings we were never meant to see? For centuries, whispers have lingered among archaeologists and theologians of a subterranean labyrinth, buried so deep its architects dared not speak its name. In the 1960s, a chance discovery in a remote region brought these whispers to life. An underground city carved with precision into volcanic rock, its deepest chambers sealed by stone doors weighing half a ton. But who or what were its builders trying to keep trapped inside? Ancient texts, long excluded from traditional scripture, tell of fallen beings who once walked among humanity, entities whose mistakes were deemed too dangerous to leave exposed. Now, unseen footage and newly deciphered clues suggest this city may be more than a refuge. It could be a tomb for a secret the divine sought to erase. Join us as we descend into the depths of history's most enigmatic enigma. What lies buried here may rewrite not only our past, but our understanding of the forces that shaped it. Beneath the surface of modern cities lie echoes of a time when humanity sought refuge not from invaders, but from something far more incomprehensible. The underground complex in question is no mere myth. Over 200 subterranean settlements have been discovered across a single region, some descending nearly 300 feet into the earth. Built over millennia, these labyrinthine structures feature ventilation shafts, wells, and even stables, evidence of meticulous planning for long-term survival. Yet one detail defies explanation: massive circular stone doors, found only in the deepest levels, designed not to keep threats out, but to seal something in. Scholars of antiquity note striking parallels between these structures and accounts from non-canonical texts. Among the most compelling is a collection of writings preserved by one of the world's oldest Christian traditions, excluded from mainstream scripture during early theological debates. These manuscripts describe a group of celestial beings, watchers, who allegedly descended to earth, sharing forbidden knowledge before being imprisoned beneath the mountains. Until the day of judgment. Why were these texts marginalized? Historical records suggest early religious councils sought to unify doctrine by privileging certain narratives over others. Yet some traditions, particularly those guarding ancient lineages, fiercely preserve these accounts. Their manuscripts describe the Watchers' transgressions in unsettling detail, teachings of metallurgy, astrology, and warfare that corrupted human society. Could the underground city's sealed chambers symbolize a literal attempt to contain the physical remnants of these entities, or the dangerous knowledge they imparted? Archaeologists remain divided. Mainstream theories propose the cities were refugees from wars or natural disasters, but anomalies persist. Carvings of towering humanoid figures with elongated skulls and wings appear in chambers predating nearby surface settlements by centuries. Radiocarbon dating of charcoal fragments reveals these depths were occupied during eras of peace, suggesting a purpose beyond mere survival. Perhaps what's most haunting are the recurring symbols found in the lowest chambers. Researchers note these motifs bear no resemblance to the agricultural or astral imagery typical of the period. Instead, they mirror iconography from distant cultures that, according to conventional timelines, should have had no contact with one another. This has led some to theorize about a shared memory, a cataclysmic event or encounter so profound it embedded itself into humanity's collective consciousness. What if these underground cities were not built by humans alone, but for humans as a safeguard against forces they could neither control nor fully comprehend? As the camera lingers on the empty niches, spaces that may have once held artifacts or perhaps something far more unsettling, the dark ambient music swells. What if the greatest threat to ancient civilizations wasn't war or famine, but knowledge itself? The underground city's design reveals a chilling duality. While its upper levels, equipped with stables, granaries, and chapels, suggest a refuge for thousands. The deeper chambers defy logic. Here, corridors narrow into claustrophobic passages, terminating in rooms sealed by monolithic stone discs. Archaeologists note these doors lack handles or hinges, implying they were meant to be closed from the outside. One theory, rooted in ancient manuscripts, posits these chambers served as a prison for entities whose teachings threatened humanity's spiritual evolution. Among the most persistent legends across cultures is that of divine intermediaries, beings who gifted humanity advanced skills. Some apocryphal texts describe these entities as instructors who taught metallurgy, celestial navigation, and even the art of war. Yet these same writings warn that such knowledge came at a cost: corruption, greed, and societal collapse. Could the sealed chambers represent an attempt to quarantine not just the beings themselves, but the dangerous wisdom they imparted? Scholars highlight a startling pattern. Symbols and iconography in the deepest chambers align with descriptions of the Watchers, celestial rebels said to have fathered hybrid offspring and distorted humanity's destiny. While mainstream archaeology avoids supernatural interpretations, some researchers argue the city's layout mirrors accounts for marginalized traditions. These texts claim the Watchers were bound under rough mountains, their influence muted but never fully erased. Radiocarbon dating adds another layer of intrigue. Charcoal fragments from fire pits in the sealed levels suggest occupation during eras of relative surface-level stability. This contradicts the theory that the city was solely a wartime refuge. Instead, evidence points to ritual use, or perhaps vigilant guardianship. One hypothesis proposes that select individuals maintained a centuries-long watch over these chambers, preserving oral traditions of what lay entombed below. Why would a civilization invest generations carving a labyrinth to hide something ordinary? The answer may lie in humanity's oldest fear, the corrupting allure of power. Ancient myths worldwide echo a warning that certain truths are too volatile for mortal minds. The underground city's architects might have agreed, entombing not just physical remnants, but the very idea of forbidden knowledge. Perhaps most enigmatic are the geometric symbols recurring in the lowest chambers. Unlike religious motifs of the period, these designs, precise, angular, devoid of nature, resemble cryptographic codes. Observers note identical patterns appear in unrelated global sites, all dated within a 500-year window. Could this signify a coordinated effort to suppress a shared threat, or a silent warning passed through generations? As we navigate these shadows, one truth becomes clear. This city was built with a purpose that transcends survival. Whether tomb, prison, or archive, its stones guard a secret that reshapes our understanding of antiquity and perhaps our future. What if the greatest mystery of this city isn't what it hides, but why its builders dared to remember it at all? Mainstream narratives dismiss tales of celestial beings as myth, yet recent discoveries force us to reconsider. In 2021, ground-penetrating radar detected a chamber beneath the city's lowest level, a room devoid of artifacts, but lined with volcanic glass. Curiously, local legends describe a mirror of heaven used to trap rebellious spirits. While researchers debate its purpose, some note the glass's unnatural molecular alignment, suggesting technology far ahead of its time. The most contentious findings involve skeletal remains. Though rare, certain tombs in nearby surface settlements contain bones with anomalies, elongated skulls, thickened femurs, traits inconsistent with known human evolution. Mainstream scholars attribute these to cultural practices like head binding, but others point to genetic studies revealing mutations in mitochondrial DNA, markers that theorists argue hint at an intervention in humanity's lineage. Could these be echoes of the Watchers' hybrid offspring, described in Apocrypha as Nephilim? Here lies the paradox. The underground city's architects left deliberate clues, carvings, star maps, sealed chambers, as if torn between erasing history and preserving a warning. This duality mirrors ancient texts that oscillate between condemning the watchers and lamenting their lost wisdom. One fragment, preserved by desert monks, states they were teachers in chains. Material analysis deepens the enigma. Metallurgists discovered that tools excavated from the site contained traces of alloys not cataloged until the Industrial Age. How could Bronze Age civilizations smelt such materials? Some researchers propose these artifacts were relics, inherited from a much older culture, or worse, that they were replicated from blueprints never meant for human hands. Why do identical geometric patterns appear worldwide at the same time? The answer may lie in humanity's forgotten infancy. Before writing, before empires, oral tradition spoke of a golden thread connecting all civilizations. The underground city's symbols, replicated in distant lands, could represent fragments of this thread. Yet there's a darker twist. Sites sharing these motifs often share tales of gods punished for overstepping divine law. Skeptics argue these parallels are coincidental, but consider this. The city's deepest chambers align astronomically with Orion's belt during the vernal equinox 12,000 years ago, an era when humans were supposedly hunter-gatherers. How did a subterranean civilization encode such precise celestial knowledge? As we near the heart of the labyrinth, one unsettling truth emerges. This city challenges not just history, but humanity's perceived sovereignty over its past. Whether prison, archive, or something beyond our comprehension, its stones whisper a question we've long suppressed. Are we the architects of our destiny, or inheritors of a legacy we barely understand? What if the underground city's greatest lesson isn't about the past, but about how we navigate our own age of hidden truths? The ancients understood that knowledge carries weight. They built physical barriers to contain what they feared. Today, our chambers are digital, encrypted files, air-gapped servers, algorithms guarding secrets. Yet the core dilemma remains: how do we wield power without being consumed by it? Some researchers suggest the underground city's architects left a blueprint for balance: respect for boundaries, reverence for the unknown, and vigilance against the corruption that follows unchecked ambition. Ancient traditions emphasize rituals to ground the mind. Try this. Each morning, spend 3 minutes in silence, visualizing a stone door closing against distractions or harmful influences. This practice, inspired by guardian rituals hypothesized from the city's chambers, cultivates mental discipline, a shield against modern-day forbidden knowledge like misinformation or addictive technologies. Practical takeaway 1. Not all secrets should be unearthed. Just as the city's architects sealed away volatile forces, we too must discern what to pursue. Before diving into controversial theories or unverified claims, ask, does this empower or enslave? Historians note that civilizations collapse not from ignorance, but from knowledge mismatched with wisdom. Practical takeaway 2, listen to the silence. The city's resonant chambers suggest its keepers use sound for reflection, a tool to detect faint echoes of truth in a noisy world. Apply this digitally, curate your intake of information. 1 hour a week, disconnect and engage with unedited nature or music without lyrics. Ancient texts describe this as clearing the static to hear the divine. Practical takeaway 3, document your discoveries. The underground city's carvings survive because someone chose to preserve them. Keep a journal of ideas that challenge your worldview. Over time, patterns emerge, separating fleeting obsessions from transformative truths. We are all inheritors of mysteries. The underground city reminds us that every generation faces its own watchers, forces promising power at a perilous cost. Whether AI, genetic engineering, or cosmic exploration, the test remains the same. Will we repeat the ancients' caution or succumb to the hubris they entombed? As we emerge from the shadows of history, one question lingers. Are we the guardians now? This city's silent halls urge us to confront a timeless truth. Some secrets are buried not to hide them, but to protect us. The Watcher's fate, humanity's resilience, and the symbols echoing across millennia all whisper the same warning. Progress without purpose is a labyrinth without end. Subscribe and join us next time as we unravel another thread in the tapestry of mysteries beyond faith. The truth is closer than you think. Thank you for venturing into the shadows with us. Every click, every moment spent unraveling these enigmas fuels our quest to unearth the whispers of the past and the truths we dare to uncover. But remember, the labyrinth never ends.